Hey sewing friends, so I thought I'd share a little bit about my pick one, sew two concept of coordinating sewing patterns and fabric to your wardrobe, pairing things that you already have with things that you want to make. And I thought I'd do that. I have it in a series of shorts, but I thought I'd do it all in one video so that if you just want to watch all one video, you can see it that way. So I have selected these wide leg pants. These came from Free Cycling, believe it or not. They're a polyester, like velour. They have a nice side stripe on the side seam, and they're, wide leg all the way down, which are kind of fun. They're not super warm, but they're definitely not summer pants, but they're not super warm. So I wouldn't wear them in the dead of winter on the coldest day, but if you have a milder day in the 30s or 40s, you would probably be okay with these. So anyway, I have nothing to wear with these. I mean, I picked them up Free Cycling. So what I wanted to do is share with you the concept of the pick one, sew two that I have on my blog, and kind of how I do that process for this particular project, for these exact pants. So this is the downloadable worksheet. It's pick one, sew two. And you can see I've sketched out my pants here and I've written down the description of the pants. You could also take a picture and print it out and put it there if you wanted to. And then I've done my make one, make two. Now, you could do this as picking two things out of your closet and sewing one. I like to make stuff, and I'm sure you do too if you're a maker. So maybe you want to sew two things. So that's what I've done here. Now, the first thing I've selected is this sweater knit with cream and kind of a warm gray in a leopard print. So that is going to become a toaster one sweater. So the toaster sweaters are really nice. There's one that's a funnel neck that's a little bit cropped, and it's basically no hemming, which is great. You basically sew a banded neck, you sew a banded sleeve, and you sew a banded hem. So that's one of them. I think that's the toaster two. The toaster one has a wider cowl, like a loose cowl neck, and it has really long sleeves, which is like the only sewing pattern I've ever not had to alter to make the sleeves longer because I have really long arms. This one fits pretty well because this is a Nico, because I made it myself, of course, but I have super long arms. So I was at 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches to every sleeve length. So that's the toaster two, and it also has a swing shape, and it has a multi-layer hem, but it's like, squared off. So you have like tails, short tails on the side. So that is the other toaster. So I'm going to make that version of the toaster. I've made it before. I really like it. It fits well. Now I've picked two other fabrics here to go with this. One is this really nice, it's a vintage, kind of a stiff cotton. I'm going to wash it and dry it again and see if it softens up a little. But it's kind of a fairly firm cotton. And it might make a really nice cropped V-neck top that would be suitable maybe more for spring or fall with these pants. So I'm not just thinking winter, I'm thinking spring and fall. How can I incorporate these in the spring and fall? And then of course I've picked this beautiful, I guess it's almost a tweed plaid. This will be some sort of outerwear, cropped jacket, capelet, something, poncho type thing that I'm going to make out of this particular one. So this is a little bit lighter weight. I have some in a darker color that's in a darker gold with purple, and that's definitely going to become more of an outerwear cape, jacket type thing. This one I want to do something more of an inner / outerwear, like you could wear it either inside or outside depending. So these things are what I have to wear with these pants right here. So I'm going to hold these up and just kind of give you a little visual here. So you can see I've coordinated a lot of the colors here that look really nice together, but I've also, there's a little bit of difference with that animal print there. It's just, it's not quite, it's not quite the same colors, but I think it'll coordinate really nicely. And then I picked up some other things. I'm literally dropping papers everywhere over here, you guys. I picked up some other things to go with this that I already had sewn. So every year I make a Nico turtleneck. And this one was one from like 2 or 3 years ago. I have one on right now. I make one every year. I've got a new striped one that I'm doing for this year. And I also have an upcycled one that I'm doing out of some existing fabrics. So I've got that. And as you can see, this also was a really nice coordinate. And this is something I have already made in the past. So those colors look really nice together. So I think that will also be a really nice coordinate. And then last but not least, I have a sweater, also secondhand cardigan from my closet that I bought secondhand, And you can see all of those colors also work together as well. So, you know, this is definitely a warm color palette, but I really had nothing directly to go with this other than these things I've already made. I really had almost nothing to go with this when I got these pants a couple of years ago on a free cycle. I just said yes on a whim. Somebody posted and I was like, yes. I had never heard of the brand, some brand called Cider. Anyway, I'd never heard of the brand before, and it's, you know, it's a fast fashion brand. You know, didn't really think that much about it. But then as I was holding all of this stuff up, you know how you never really see your stash or you see what you're wearing. I was holding all this up and I'm like, you know, all of this stuff looks really nice with what I'm wearing right now, particularly this wrap, which is two-tone. It's lighter and darker wrap. And I thought, gosh, I could wear these together too. So as in the process of putting all of this together, I discovered that there's actually a bunch of things that I have that I could wear with this, but I'm excited, of course, about making some new things that will coordinate. So that is my pick one, sew two. Now this worksheet is freely available from my blog. There'll be a link down below. You can download this. I concocted this a couple years ago when I was looking for something that was easier than a lot of the other wardrobe planners that are out there. This is not the kind of wardrobe planner where you're going to sit down and you're going to assess your entire wardrobe and and those are fun and I love doing those too. But sometimes you just want to be like, I want to sew my next project. What do I need to do? And so my recommendation is go to your closet, find something you don't wear for whatever reason. Maybe you don't have anything to go with it. Maybe you just never wear it because you never find the right thing, or maybe you're just uninspired. Find something in your wardrobe that you never wear and go into your fabric stash and say, what can I make that will help pull this all together in my wardrobe so that I wear whatever this garment is much more often. And that's really the goal, is to wear the stuff that we already have, to sew from the stash we already have. All of these are stash fabrics. They've been there for a while. This is someone else's stash that was given to me. So goodness, how old is this? I have no idea, probably the 70s perhaps. So it was someone else's stash that was given to me. So I'd like to see that put into, you know, I guess continuous wear, as it were. So how can you pull all of this together? And that's really my goal, is to give you guys a sense of, you know, how do I make this easy for you to plan it without having to go through a whole wardrobe exercise. I know all these things work in my wardrobe. I know those pants work in my wardrobe. I selected them when somebody came up in free cycling. I raised my hand and said, yes, I'll go get them. And I did. She literally had them in a plastic bag on her front porch and I picked them up an hour later. So, you know, but I don't wear them that often just because the color isn't something that I've really seen in my wardrobe. I mean, I can wear them with cream, but I thought, no, you know, it's boring, right? I want something else. So I've done exactly that. So this is the pick one, sew two, and hopefully you find some inspiration in this. You can download this. I'll put the link down below. You can download this. It's free and it's available to you. You can draw, or you can take a picture, or, you know, whatever you want here. The goal is to pick something out of your closet that you already have that you're not wearing, and find something in your sewing stash that you can put together. And this includes me-made. So if you've got a me-made, you can do this. Now, this exercise also works really fun if you take a garment you've already made. So let's say I make this top. This top then becomes the pick one out of my wardrobe, and I make other things to go with it. So then you start extending your capsule, right? So instead of just this one, I now have other garments that go with this. Maybe not necessarily these three, but I have this one coordinates with another set. So as you start building on this, you can see how your wardrobe will grow and build based on the things that you choose here. So that's it. Pick one, sew two.